Maya Robinson was 27, an elementary school teacher and one of the most loved members of her community. She volunteered at youth centers, held food drives, and mentored teens after class. On a warm Friday evening in June, she left her apartment just after 9 p.m. to grab almond milk and cereal from the corner store. She never made it inside. As she neared the parking lot, a white pickup truck pulled up. Masked men jumped out, shouting racial slurs, spraying black paint across nearby walls. And before anyone could react, they struck her hard, left bruised and bleeding on the pavement. Maya was found unconscious by a local store clerk minutes later. She was rushed to the hospital, her face battered, her ribs cracked. Spray painted beside her body on the sidewalk were 3 chilling letters: WSA, White State Army. Though small and mostly under the radar, the White State Army had been linked to online hate forums and rumored meetups in nearby rural counties. Until now, they had operated in the shadows. But attacking Maya, that made it personal. Because Crestville wasn't just any town. It had a past, a history of segregation, yes, but also a deep well of resilience. This time, people weren't going to stay quiet. The hospital was swarmed with teachers, neighbors, former students, even the mayor. Local pastors held a candlelight vigil within hours. 1,000 people showed up, but while some called for peace, others had a different response brewing. Across town, in the west side projects of Crestville, word traveled fast. A group of men known as the Southside Sons, a local street crew once heavily involved in drug trade, now mostly disbanded, heard the news. Maya had tutored some of their younger siblings. She had written college letters for some of their cousins. To them, Maya was family. And when they saw the photo of her in the hospital bed, rage. An older member, Trey Stitch Howard, now working in construction, spoke for many when he said, "They want war? You don't touch Maya." Not Maya. But something unexpected happened. Instead of planning retaliation in secret, they went public. 3 days after the attack, over 300 residents gathered outside City Hall. And at the front of the line, not just activists, not just clergy, but former gang members, shoulder to shoulder with business owners and teachers. Trey stood on the courthouse steps and raised a mic. "We're not here to burn down the city. We're not here to cause more pain. But we are done letting people like them walk free while our sisters lie in hospital beds." The crowd erupted. That moment was broadcast on social media, and within 24 hours, news networks were on the ground. Suddenly, the nation was watching. Faced with growing public pressure, the Crestville Police Department formed a joint task force with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation and the FBI. Investigators quickly traced the WSA graffiti back to a hate group operating in a neighboring county. Surveillance footage from the grocery store revealed the license plate of the pickup truck. Within 6 days of the attack, 3 men were arrested in early morning raids. Weapons, propaganda, and disturbing videos were found in their homes. They weren't just criminals, they were domestic terrorists. But while arrests brought relief, they didn't bring healing. And that's where Maya stepped in. 2 weeks after being discharged from the hospital, Maya appeared, bruises still fresh, at a town hall meeting. Her voice was soft but unwavering. "Hate tried to break me. And for a moment, it did. But when I opened my eyes and saw how many of you stood up, I realized something. Hate is loud, but love can be louder." Her words went viral. Across the nation, people shared the clip with the hashtag We Stand With Maya. Donations poured in. Scholarships were started in her name. And Crestville began to change. In the months that followed, real reforms took shape. Hate crime reporting protocols were upgraded. An anti-racism community council was formed. Schools introduced new history curriculum written in part by Maya herself. Former members of the Southside Sons launched a youth mentorship program, channeling their street knowledge into street protection. For the first time in years, Crestville felt unified, not in perfection, but in purpose. Even federal officials commented on the Crestville model as a possible framework for other towns. The trial began 8 months later. Prosecutors presented clear evidence. video recording, social media messages, and even audio recording where one of the attackers bragged. We sent a message, but what he didn't expect was Maya's message. On the final day of testimony, Maya addressed the courtroom. You thought you could silence me, but all you did was amplify my voice. You tried to scare a city into silence. Instead, you united it. You failed. The jury found all 3 attackers guilty on multiple felony counts, including federal hate crimes. Sentences range from 22 to 35 years. Today, Maya Robinson still teaches, but she's also a published author, activist, and founder of the Crestville Courage Collective, a nonprofit focused on healing communities through dialogue, art, and education. Her story has been featured in documentaries, TED Talks, and university lectures. And Crestville? It still has its flaws. But something changed. Hate was exposed. And the people chose to confront it, not with vengeance, but with unity and unshakable courage. Because one woman's suffering became a city's reckoning. Sometimes it takes a tragedy to wake a town. Sometimes it takes injustice to spark movement. But always, it takes courage to rise above the fear. Maya had that courage. And so did the people who stood beside her. The next time hate whispers in the shadows, will you be one of the voices that answers back?